This is one of Fitness Blender's 5x5x5 pulse workouts for the lower body. In this routine, we're going to be doing a 7-minute warm-up followed by a 13-minute pulse workout. Now you don't need any equipment for this routine, but if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can always use ankle weights. Let's go ahead and get started with the cardio warm-up. Let's go ahead and get started with the first exercise, the pendulum swings. Now with this exercise, you're just going to be kicking those feet back and forth to the left and the right, just staying as short a time as you can on the ball of your foot every single time you come down, then transitioning off to that other side as quickly as you can. Just try to keep that motion nice and smooth under control. Make sure you're keeping a nice even pace. Now keep in mind, we're trying to bring your heart rate up really nice and slow, so don't worry about trying to do a really quick motion on this. Don't try to worry about really pushing yourself. You're just nice and slow trying to bring that heart rate up, warm that body up. And we've got about 5 seconds left. And go ahead and let it relax. We're going to move on to the next one, the boxer squats. Set those feet really nice and wide apart. Now you're going to imagine that you're ducking underneath a rope for this one. So you're going to squat down nice and low in the middle, come up to the left side, then squat down nice and low in the middle again, coming back up to the right side. Just keep shifting your weight back and forth from foot to foot, making sure you're getting a nice, low, deep squat every single time. Again, control your pace on this one. You're just trying to nice and slow warm those legs up, get that heart rate up just a little bit higher. Just about 5 seconds left. And go ahead and let that relax. We'll move on to the next one, the toe touch kicks. So there's a nice slow motion. Bring that leg straight up in front of you, reaching out towards that toe, that opposite arm from leg. So if that left leg comes up, you're reaching out with your right arm. If that right leg comes up, you're reaching out with your left arm. Just keep alternating back and forth, getting a little bit of a crunch forward, but primarily just trying to stretch that hamstring out a little bit, open that hip up a little bit more. And we've got just about 5 seconds left. Go ahead and let it relax. We're going to switch to the next one, the slow butt kickers, which will be alternating back and forth, left leg to right leg, shifting your weight back and forth. Bring that heel up to your butt every single time. Just crossing those arms in front of your chest and then stretching them back behind you each time. Just keep that motion going nice and slow under control. Just getting that circulation going, those joints nice and warmed up. Just about 5 seconds left. And go ahead and let it relax. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, that boxer shuffle. Bring that speed up just a little bit more, get that heart rate coming back up. And just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, moving on to the next one, the butt kickers. Getting that heart rate up a little bit more, getting that core temperature up a little bit more, getting ready for that workout. And just about 5 seconds left. And go ahead and let it relax. We're going to move to our last exercise for this warm-up, the up and out jacks. So those hands are going to come up in front of your chest as well as over top of your head, just alternate every single time. This is our last exercise to go through to get that heart rate all the way up to where we need it, get that core temperature all the way up to where we need it before we start into our full routine. And just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, we're going to be starting up our 5x5x5 pulse workout here in just a few seconds. All right, let's go ahead and get ready for our pulse workout. Remember, we're doing 5 repetitions followed by 5 pulses, 5 times through until we move to the next exercise. Our first one is going to be a single leg lift, and we'll start with that left leg first, laying on your right side. So go ahead and get ready. And begin. Just starting off with that full range of motion. Just focus on getting a nice, high, tight squeeze every single time. Now to the short pulses down at the bottom. Back up to the full range of motion. And back down again for pulses. Again, for that full range of motion. This is starting our third round. Back to the pulses. And back to that full range of motion for our fourth round. Back to the pulses again. And let's start our full range of motion again for this last set. And back to the pulses again. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides and do the same thing on the other side. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Start with that full range of motion. Last one, switch to those pulses. Back to that full range of motion. And back to those pulses. Again, that full range of motion. Starting our third set here. And back to that short pulse. And back to that full range. Starting our fourth round. And back to those short pulses. And here's our last round, back to the full range. Our last round of short pulses. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next exercise, the Flutter Kicks. Now for these, we're going to be doing our pulses, really nice and short range of motion, about 45-degree angle off the ground. Let's go ahead and get ready. And begin. Get those legs up there nice and straight, kicking back and forth, getting a full range of motion on here. Then drop it back to that pulse, nice and short range motion. Back to that full range. And back to the short pulse. And back to that full range of motion. Short pulses. Back to that full range of motion for our fourth round. Short pulses. And for our last round, back to that full range. And short pulses is our last one. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, the inside leg lifts. And the short pulse on this one's going to be done a couple inches at the very top of that range of motion. Let's go ahead and get ready. And begin. Start with that full range of motion as high as you can, down to the ground. Just a few inches off the ground. And short pulses, bring it up. Nice tight squeeze at the very top. Back to that full range. Short pulses again. Back to that full range of motion. And short pulses. Back to that full range of motion. Short pulses. And starting our last round. Short pulses. And let it relax. All right, we're going to do the same exact thing on the opposite sides. Go ahead and switch sides. Go ahead and get ready. And begin, starting with that full range of motion. Squeeze up nice and high towards the top. Just a few inches off the ground at the bottom. Short pulses. Back to that full range of motion. Short pulses. Again, back to that full range. Short pulses. And back to that full range of motion for our fourth round. Short pulses. And back to that full range of motion for our last one, our fifth round. Into those short pulses. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, the rear leg raises. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Extend that leg out straight. Nice full range of motion up as high as you can. Back down, barely tapping the floor. And right back up again. And bring that leg up for short pulses. Go back to that full range. Back to those short pulses. Full range of motion. Short pulses. Back that full range of motion. Short pulses. Now for our last round, full range of motion again. Short pulses. And let it relax. All right, we're going to switch sides. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Go ahead and get ready. And begin with that opposite leg out there, starting off with that full range of motion. Bring that leg up there for that fifth one. Start those short pulses. And back to that full range of motion. Last one, short pulses. Back to that full range of motion. Starting our third round. Short pulses. Back to that full range of motion for our fourth round. Short pulses. And back to that full range of motion again. Short pulses. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next exercise, the back pose. And our pulse is going to be at the very top of that range of motion for this one as well. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Nice full range of motion, squeezing as high as you can every single time, as high as is comfortable. Keep those legs as straight as you can. Go ahead and go into those short pulses. Back to that full range of motion. There's our fifth one right here. Back into that short pulse. And back to that full range, starting our third set. Short pulses. Back into that full range of motion. Short pulses. Back to that full range of motion for our fifth set, our last one. Short pulses. And let it relax. All right, good job. You just finished Fitness Blender's 5x5x5 leg shaper workout. Now make sure you do a lower body cool down and stretch as well.